So, for more than 30 years, there's been many restoration projects suggested for the Chateau of Villedieu. Unfortunately, none of them have ever come to fruition, and consequently, the chateau is gradually falling into complete ruin. There's a main road that crosses Villedieu, and it's impossible when you drive there to miss the chateau. It was built in the 11th century, and over all those years is now slowly beginning to fall into ruin. Most of that in the last 30 years. If you go back to the 1950s, the chateau was still in rather good condition and livable, but nowadays it's a shadow of its former glory. Since the end of the 1980s, multiple projects to refurbish and transform the chateau into a prestigious hotel have been launched, but none of them have ever succeeded despite all the planning being granted by the local mayor and the authorities. The town hall of Villedieu has therefore taken matters into its own hands. They've started stabilisation and landscaping work, and the mayor says that he's going to send the invoices directly to the company that owns the chateau, Opus. They will pay, says the mayor. The problem is that these contracts are complicated and the lawyers are based in the Netherlands. The mayor comically says that the owners are disconnected from reality and they've made some really bizarre requests. They wanted to know if we could install optical fibre in the chateau for the internet, they said. I don't think they're even aware of the disrepair of the chateau, says Mayor Bernard. So what's going to happen? Future sale? Well, the Canadian company Opus could sell the site, but it bought it for €1 million. Today, it no longer has anywhere near that value. And the pressure is being applied to the owners to carry out work, and the town hall is in the process of modifying the local urbanisation plan. So what that means is that the grounds are going to be turned into agricultural land, which will lower its value even further. The mayor has now taken legal custody of the estate and through the notaires has put the chateau on the market for €100. Does that sound like a bargain to you? Well, there's implications to that. Let's just say we bought the chateau for €100. Let's look at its present condition. Had water ingress internally and growth of trees and so on for a number of years. So that means there's significant amounts of stabilisation work needed just to the fabric of the building before you do anything else. Let's just have a quick look at the costs. Well, if you were going to re-roof it, you're looking at €200,000 for a slate roof. You've then got to put in all the floors, all the wooden floors, and recreate all the fireplaces. Then you've got to put in the walls. Then you've got to put in the services. Then you've got to put in the final fit, which is your electrics and your plumbing and your heating system. So let's just say you could afford to do all of that. The rules in France are that if you do that work yourself, you are personally liable for 10 years after the date you've sold the chateau for any problems associated with that work. That's why most of the time those projects are conducted by approved contractors, French contractors, and they hold a decennial insurance policy which protects them for any claim in those 10 years. So even if you were to put the money in, you'll never make the money out. But even if you did, you would be personally responsible if you did those works yourself. Then, of course, you've got the tax. So as soon as you make that building habitable, you're paying full tax on it. So as soon as you popped a roof on and put the windows in, you're then paying tax on it. It would be a staggering amount of tax to pay for what could be a 600 or 700 meter square home. So let's end the story today by saying that we live by experience with Chateau Le Croix. That was a building which was, although left for 10 years, was still had good fabric, and the roof was on and the windows were weather tight, and it was livable. Unfortunately, though, you just don't have any idea of the scale of these projects. They are a dream to have, but an absolute nightmare to deliver on. You'll never ever have a life other than restoring, and that's one thing that we've learnt. The good news is we're not going to buy. We're going to enjoy our smaller, warmer cottage and enjoy living here. But I hope you found that interesting, and we're going to keep our eyes open for similar stories, because if nothing more, they are a romantic dream to follow.